All right, here we go. Hey, man, the Rams got it done. Wow,
Hey.
wow. They got it done. People were a little scared at first, but they found their way and got the victory. So congrats to the LA Rams, our hometown squad, for a Super Bowl victory they had this last weekend. I just wanted to get that out the way first, and we'll address it more going forward. But again, hello, everybody. It's your boy G, alongside Alec Foster, another episode of Section 300. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, all that to the show. I'm on YouTube and our podcast streaming services. Follow us on IG and TikTok at Section.300. Follow us on Twitter at Section 300 Sports. A lot of great conversations going on everywhere. A lot of great things going on TikTok right now. YouTube Shorts for those watching there as well. We got clips going up every and anywhere right now. So staying active and in front of you guys, and definitely plenty of things to talk about. As you see, I got the Rams head on, Lakers head on. Definitely a day to rep Lakers jersey on. Definitely a good day to rep LA. As I said to start, the Rams got the victory there. So yeah, feeling good. And Alec, how you doing today, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. That's a Kuz jersey, ain't it?
Yeah. This is a fake Kuzma jersey. I'm never gonna sit here in front. I wasn't wasting real money on a Kuzma jersey, but I found one online for $20, and I was like, he was the last of the big Lakers we had left at the time. So I was like, I'll cop one real quick, and here we are. So
yeah, I was like, I don't think they got a Mamba jersey for Russ this year. So.
Yeah, no, not for us. Definitely a Kuzma jersey, but I'll get a real one for one of our guys, maybe coming up soon. So yeah. Feeling the way about the Lakers squad, and we'll address them later on. But definitely good spirits about the Rams, who had their parade and things today. People were a little hating on the parade today with all that was going on, because it seemed like there were a lot of fans out there that they reported that hundreds of Rams fans showed up, opposed to the thousands beyond that were usually used to showing up in the arena and things. So we'll talk about that first. What do you think about how they set that up for today?
Yeah, I was actually like you said pre-show, I didn't even know that it was going to be this morning.
Yeah.
In the first place.
Right.
So a bit of a shock there, and I guess not surprised completely that the numbers weren't huge on a Wednesday morning, like in the middle of the week.
Come on now.
In LA, like there's a lot of things to do beyond just like people having to go to work first and foremost.
After two holidays, I mean, you have Super Bowl, which is a holiday in itself essentially, and then Valentine's Day right afterwards. Folks, they get back. They've skipped enough days now. They get back to work, get back to school, all of that. So yeah, hard to get fans to come out after already spending so much time away from their other things they have to get to. So tough for Rams, but enough fans did show up. They had a good time. Jake Gold, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, was there and definitely rooting for the Rams. And cheering them on as they drove around the city. Our boy Rocco, who's been on the show a while ago, for those that have been around for a few seasons, he was there and very happy. He was crying after the Rams won on Sunday. He's one of them diehard folks, and I definitely understood, because it was a great moment. So the fans that could found their way out there. It was a great day, and yeah, I'm glad that they had their moment. I guess to both my things I got on here are the Lakers tried to kind of take over in a slight way. The head of the squad, Lebron, tried to insert himself into the Rams parade, asking if they could do some like 3-team parade, Lakers, Dodgers, Rams parade, celebrating all the LA teams. How did you feel about his words trying to set that up?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It does suck as a championship team to not have that moment, like that you worked all year for in 2020, but it's like it's a little bit past time. Like I said to you guys, like
a little bit. It's been 2 seasons.
Yeah, beyond that, like, there's only 3 guys on the roster who are on that championship team. Right. So like,
you'd have to
bring guys from other players from other teams to come and celebrate with the Lakers, kind of thing. So that wouldn't really work like logistically. But yeah, it's a little bit past time, especially when they're like struggling this year too. Fans aren't going to be wanting to celebrate the Lakers when we're getting below 500 basketball this season. So.
Yeah, I saw a couple actually Dodger players retweeting his stuff and saying, Mookie. So players, that I guess they see it differently to us. As fans, we're like, yo, it's been a whole season.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the Dodgers still want to celebrate theirs too.
Of course. Yeah. But I'm just saying, from the fan side, it's like we kind of mad at least on the Lakers side. Like, we mad at y'all right now. Like, y'all not playing good. Like, the last thing we saw so far was LeBron missing free throws against the Warriors to lose that game. So it's like, after that moment, we really want to celebrate you right now. So it was a weird thing. But I guess from his side, I do understand why he still wants someone to be celebrated, because it definitely was a grand win that I'm happy that we got there. So is what it is on that front. But I guess while on the topic of celebration, before we get more into the actual game itself, the last thing was, and we'll wrap around to this as well, more specifically with the Lakers, and we talk basketball later on. But just with the Super Bowl that going on, we saw LeBron at the game, we saw Russ at the game. I think AD was pictured there as well. Fans were happy about the Lakers celebrating and watching the Super Bowl after all the woes that we've had recently. How did you feel about LeBron and them seeing a little bit carefree this weekend, even though we're in the midst of a rough season?
I really don't care, to be honest. Like, I get him rooting for the hometown team in the Rams. Like, do you not want him to be excited for the other LA team doing well? I don't understand. Like, and it's also LeBron, like, who's arguably the greatest player of all time. We don't personally believe that, but he's in the discussion, and it's not like some dude at the end of the Lakers bench is like going all out celebrating. Like, this is LeBron James. Like, he's solidified. He doesn't need this season doesn't determine like his legacy. So I didn't understand some of the social media vitriol he was getting for.
As we said, fans care a lot more than or a lot more dramatic than the players and folks that actually in the organization can be. And that definitely showed this weekend. Like I said, folks were a little real irritated by that. But yeah, billionaire Bron, he is already solidified and happy as can be, and has shown multiple times this season that he ain't stressing the way that fans are.
Do they want him to be like smoking around, like sad every day?
Yeah, fans are all miserable, and then you go on LeBron's IG and he's dancing to music all day long and in the gym or whatever. So yeah, he clearly is not stressed out on the same way that we can be at times. So it is what it is. I just hope that just on the court, the effort shows there at least when it is time to turn on. So we'll see from there. We'll get to Lakers more so later on. But yeah, just in regard to the Super Bowl, it was interesting seeing that conversation go down. But that's all the extra stuff that went on kind of around the Super Bowl or post Super Bowl now. But now going back to the game itself, like we said, Rams got it done in a hard-fought match against the Bengals. People were real worried for a second, but they found a way to get it done. What do you think of the Rams Super Bowl game itself?
Yeah, I thought.
And let me zoom in for a second.
I thought the game, maybe not the game flow went how we expected, but I thought like the end final score kind of like went like how we expected. Like, we thought it would be a pretty close game. Thought the Bengals might have a shot to win it, which they did. Right. But that the Rams would prevail, and that the defense, defensive line and defense would come through for them, which they did. I mean, they had, I think, was it like 11 sacks? It was something
seven.
Oh, okay, seven.
It felt like 11, but
like 9 from the other one too.
Right.
He had a crazy, I think it was like 50-something sacks that he took in the course of the playoffs too. Yep. I mean, they still came up 3 points short from winning it, regardless of that too. So, but yeah, I think it kind of ended up how we expected. But for me, I don't know. The game was like a little bit of a dud for me. Like, it was a competitive game for sure. Like, but the game flow, like, it was a whole lot of 1-yard rushes from the Rams. It was a whole lot of like 3 and outs. There wasn't a whole lot of exciting plays. Like, I'd say probably the Odell touchdown in the first quarter, and then like the T. Higgins one. But then even after the T. Higgins one, you see he like completely raked across. The face mask. So it was kind of like, did they really deserve that play? It was, there wasn't a whole lot of like really exciting plays that jumped out at me in that game. Right.
Yeah. I was just gonna say to you about Odell. Odell was an exciting player on the field, and he only played for a quarter, if that. So we didn't get to see a whole lot from him, or get that excitement from him all game. But definitely appreciate what he did contribute. And it was just sad how it all unfolded with him that game. But definitely was a great game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Wasn't exactly exciting in the same way that you described it, but still had me glued to the TV still, just seeing how things went unfold. So I definitely enjoyed it. Something that interests me, kind of, I guess, zooming through the game a little bit, was that I liked that for at least 58 minutes or however long, up to the last 2 minutes of the game. They let the guys play. Yes, there were some calls that could have went either way.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a T. Higgins face mask. Yes, there were a couple other plays that could have been called. That I'm blanking on. My apologies, but there were calls that could have been there, but the refs kind of held their whistle or whatever. But I'm glad that they let them do that. But it wasn't until the end, that last 2 minutes, though, they started getting real heavy with it, sadly. So it went as it did. So, very interesting to see that. Folks were talking about, oh, it's rigged or whatever. I wouldn't go to that extent.
I didn't feel that way, no.
But I would say the refs got to get better with the consistency. I think that's been a thing that they've been trying to figure out how to get the refs right for years now. They get some things to change, and then something else is wrong, and then something else changes, and then they just can't just put it all quite together. So
I think those
flags a little bit again, and that was a little thing that caught my attention.
I think those flags were warranted.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like you said, it wasn't consistent with how the entire game had been called. That's I think why some people are frustrated, but it looked like it was a hold on the linebacker Wilson, and then a hold on Eli Apple, because they're desperately trying to stop Cup from getting the ball because we knew they were going to Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one thing that stood out to me too from watching the game. Once Odell went out, especially on the commentator side, they kept talking about how Matthew Stafford has no weapons now, and I'm like, they still have the best wide receiver in football. Why aren't they trying to go to him more? I know he was getting doubled on a lot of plays as well too, but it was you can find other ways to get him the football, like they did on the jet sweep to get that crucial first down conversion. I was like, once they get him, and then once they got him more involved, they started moving down the field and got that.
We talked with Jake a week ago about the idea of using Cup like Debo, and we didn't see a whole lot of that. So they kept him on the outsider and slide, whatever, trying to do his things as a receiver. And he was able to get doubled and covered up in certain ways, just as that. So they were able to find a way. It took a no look pass on some plays or whatever, nice just to find them. Definitely was a great pass, but just saying that they understood that once Odell was gone, that there wasn't much for Matt Stafford to turn to beyond Cup, so they had him pretty covered. I guess to your point as well, it did show how important Odell was to that team, though. Yeah. While yes, they could have found more ways to get Cooper Kupp the ball, the fact that Matt tried going to Van Jefferson and Van Jefferson dropped the ball, he tried going to Skowronek and Skowronek didn't know what he was doing out there. It seemed like while he's a respectable guy, I don't want to shit him completely because he ended up making some catches there. But
nothing from the run game either.
Right, but there clearly was a gap between Cooper Kupp, Odell, and then the rest of the squad in regards to the talent there. So, definitely want to give Odell his praise. And I'll add to that later on, which is a topic we're going to discuss too. So, that definitely stood out. And then, as you mentioned, that line on the Bengals side definitely was the X factor essentially. If they had allowed Joe to have a little bit more time, I truly think that the Bengals would have won that game.
Even if Odell, the first half, they only gave up 1 sack, I believe. Too.
Right.
It was all second half, they just
it fell apart. So the line switched up its scheme a little bit. They went from triple teaming Aaron Donald a whole lot and throwing out all types of packages at him and wherever the case may have been. And then it seemed like a few times or a lot of times in the second half he was 1-on-1. When you have Aaron Donald 1-on-1. Barbecue chicken every time. So Aaron Donald did his thing there, and that showed to be the difference at the very end with him making the last sack as well. Essentially sack. I don't think they call it that because he threw the ball, but making that last play to the end of the game. So that definitely was an amazing performance from him. Further solidified him as one of the greatest defenders ever. If you want to say he's the best ever, sure, he's in the discussion either way. Definitely. What was great to see. I guess on that topic too. Real quick, sorry for going. I'm gonna throw it to you right now. What do you think of all the talk about all these guys in the Hall of Fame or not, or the greatest ever for Aaron Donald? What do you think about all the discussion that has gone on posting about some of the players on the squad?
Yeah, I guess it's warranted if Aaron Donald's considering retirement. I understand then debating, but it's not really a debate. He's one of the greatest players of all time. So.
Right.
But for Matthew Stafford, I feel like kind of how I felt about when people were calling LeBron the GOAT or whatever, 5 years ago or what. I was like, not right now. He might get there. He still has time to play as well too. So Matthew Stafford, no, he's not a Hall of Famer right now, in my opinion. But I think he still has seasons to play.
Yeah.
If he gets another ring or gets an MVP or whatever, like I think he can help his resume to potentially get in the Hall of Fame. But like you sent that message of that Kelly Stafford posted just about like letting him enjoy this, like how they keep moving the goalposts for Matthew Stafford.
It was so dramatic.
It's a media thing. I don't think like fans wouldn't be immediately jumping to, is he Hall of Fame or not? Like right after the game in, like that's Sports Center, ESPN, Sports Illustrated. Like they bring up those debates immediately after a game ends because they need something to post about. So
I don't know why media can't just celebrate what just happened. I don't know why it has to be so microwave and on to the next hot take in that way. You definitely could have just celebrated that moment and then maybe gone to that later on if that was the case. But as you said, I definitely agree with Kelly and what she said about how it's crazy how it went from he can't win it all to he won to he can't win one game to he won one game until he can't do it. Now he won a Super Bowl finally, and now it's he's not a Hall of Famer yet. It's like that wasn't even a discussion a year ago, and now you keep on changing things around. So just going to celebrate him for this moment, and we'll get to the other grand debates later on. At the end of the day, beyond the Hall of Fame, which can be cemented, the other greatest of all time, with Aaron Donald or the GOAT discussion, whatever kind of discussions you want to add, it's all just debates. Like there's never even an answer. You're just gonna be debating all day long. So it's all just for clicks at that point. So just want to give all those guys their moments and allow them to celebrate what they just accomplished. So definitely a good time.
Credit to Matthew Stafford. I think he did enough like for them to win, and that's all you can ask for. I mean, like we said when they made the trade from Goff to Stafford, that it was a minor improvement, and I think it was just that. Like he wasn't this elite guy, but it was a slight improvement enough to get you over the hump where Goff may not have won that game for you. And I think they can say that the move paid off for them. Like that was the start of kind of the win now movement for the Rams with trading for Stafford and then going and getting Von Miller and all the other like success and moves after that. So
and we saw who was it, the GM at the parade today with the fuck them pick shirt he had on. So I guess we talked about the ripple effect before the game last week with Jason Jones of The Athletic. Great episode there. Check that out. Now after the game, seeing the result, what do you think is the ripple effect from that game? Now that folks should really start buying in on their squads and capitalize on the moment, or continue to go on kind of the slow grind path that some teams choose to do in building up their teams?
I think in football especially, it's really important to go win now when you feel like you have a real opportunity to win, just because a lot of teams really don't get back to the Super Bowl, like not immediately at least. Like even the Rams, it took the Rams a few years to get back. And like really like the Patriots and I guess the Chiefs, because the Chiefs got back immediately, but the Patriots really in the last 20 years are the only team to like consistently get back to the Super Bowl. So I think in football it is probably in your best interest to seek to maximize that window and go for the win now moves as opposed to betting on a draft pick where you don't know if they're going to pan out or not. I don't know if all teams have the luxury to do that money wise, like the Rams did, but I think if you have an opportunity, you think you have a chance as a fringe contender to win now, you should probably seek to go all in. If you're one of those tanking teams, maybe you should probably try to build. But fringe contender, I feel like you should try to go all in.
I guess to that point, just with the NFL, the reality of while there are some guys that we see last for a long time, people's primes are so short that if you have a guy that shows flashes of being one of the best in the world, you try to capitalize on that moment and get the most out of it. So we saw that you have a guy like Aaron Donald on your squad, you've got like Jalen Ramsey on your squad. Okay, we don't want to have these guys sitting at the bottom trying to build with them for a long time. Let's make them winners now. Let's go get them offense that's rolling. I'm on the opposite side. Let's go put guys around them and things. Let's give them receivers. Cooper Kupp now pops up and he's showing the flashes as well. Okay, we have two guys on both sides of the ball that can put together a championship squad. Let's get them the pieces so they can actually go and produce that. And they did just that. So, I don't think all teams should do that. But if you're a team that's a fringe contender and you have centerpieces there that could make a jump into that true top tier and make a real Super Bowl push, I think you should go for it. So we'll see what other teams follow in that direction as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what's next in the NFL, and definitely great things ahead. So
I was gonna bring up something that you had talked about just game wise. Before you brought up Stafford, just on the Bengals side, if you felt like this was a game where like Zach Taylor kind of blew it, just because I know you were kind of upset about like Samaji getting that handoff instead of Mixon or Mixon not even being on the field for 3rd and 4th down.
I think, I think Zach was great up to the last 2 plays of the game. Essentially, like the game went as it did. While I also mentioned to you earlier on in the game that it really wasn't a Zach Taylor thing; it was more so the players producing it. I would have loved that they capitalized on that first, wherever that was, end zone possession that they had a chance to, a red zone
field goal.
Yeah, they had the field goal instead. I would love for them to capitalize and get a touchdown there, because I know them points come back around later on, and every point counts.
Right.
So that's more so on the players. But in regards to the play calling there at the end, you're on the, I think it was somewhere around in the middle of the field, 50-yard line essentially. And Joe Mixon's been looking good most of the game. When you give him the ball, he's produced. I think he was the leading rusher by a pretty large margin. Samaji showed flashes through the pass game, but in a moment where you need a yard or two, turning to your go-to, your star running back, I thought was the move to do. They went and had Samaji in the game for whatever reason on both plays. 3rd down was a pass.
Apparently, I think he might have been their 3rd down back for a lot of the season as well, too.
Sure. But in a situation like this, you want the best guys on the field in most to make these big plays. And they went with Samaji instead. I think on 3rd down, he got stuffed on the 3rd and 1. I got stopped right before the 1st down marker. And then on 4th, they tried to pass it. And Joe got stuck. Tried to throw it to him, and I guess from the TV angle, he even could have tried to make that catch as well.
Maybe that would have been tough.
But realistically, couldn't make it happen.
Did you see the other view of that play where Jalen Ramsey had fell down?
I did see that.
He had another.
And it's just a thing again as well, where it's like if Joe had time, he might have saw that as he saw it as it kind of went earlier on in the game, but he didn't have time to do so, which was interesting because your line is weak. But you still hold on the ball, or you still sit in the pocket. It's like, I know.
Well, you need more than a beat for guys to get open too.
That's fine. I guess more so what I'm saying is you have now been sacked 6 or 7 times in the game already. The line's not holding up for long. So to call a play that requires development, I think was the wrong. When you only need a yard as well, I think may have been the wrong move. Find a way to get a quick dump down to somebody, do some quick little routes across the middle, whatever. Just get the 1 yard, and then you can go forward and start scheming some more complex stuff again as you try to push further down the field. So I just think Zach I don't really have any complaints about him up besides just those last 2 plays. Just interesting how they handled that. So just tough, and hopefully they get. Actually, not hopefully, because my Ravens will take that spot going forward. But I guess in some regard, hopefully they learned their lesson there.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with you there. I thought Mixon should have got a shot. I just think it's crazy that like Aaron Donald saved Jalen Ramsey from being like the one that got blasted instead of Eli Apple, because he did not have a great game individually in that one. He made a key play that stopped that touchdown that you said.
And I will say this: I actually believe he did have a great game. The problem was.
Great game?
Well, he had a good game. You can't say great with what happened, of course.
Because he got burnt on that drive, too, like on that last drive by Jamar Chase again.
What I was going to say was he had a good game for 95% of it, but the 5% was just so loud that you saw it. He had he had 1 play where he gets a face mask that didn't get called, leads to a touchdown. He got burnt on 1 play that got missed. It was just a couple plays there that just happened to be large factors, or could have been large factors that showed greater than
other plays. He wasn't the shutdown corner that we have come to think of him as by any means.
Yes and no. I guess what I was trying to say was he did have guys kind of on lock for decent parts of the game, but there were 1 or 2 plays there that just ended up being big plays that the Bengals capitalized on. So it was what it was. But I'm not complete. I saw a lot of folks saying Jalen Ramsey got saved, and I get that because he did have some bad misses. But I think for a large majority of the game, he still did what he needed to do. So I'm happy.
I feel like that's giving him a little leeway because Eli Apple getting burned like that is going to continuously get talked about how he was talked about when he had a pretty good game for most of the game as well. So
if you want to pile on, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just saying from what I saw, yes, he had those bad plays, but I saw a lot of good ones as well that he did.
Like I said, he had a key stop, like the touchdown that you said that the Bengals kind of needed early on. That was like the throw to Higgins. He broke up.
Exactly.
So like he had good plays in there as well. It was just like it was going to look a little shaky on the resume if he had all those plays missed and they lost. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, you don't have to worry about that now because they found a way to get the W. And, it was a great game. So, that's really all. We don't got to get further on the details of it all. But what we can do now, talk about the game itself. What else happened during the game was the halftime show. We don't want to skip past that. A lot of folks are calling this one of the best ever. Dr. Dre, Snoop, surprise appearance from 50 Cent. Eminem, Mary J. Blige, all put on.
Someone said that looked like Drewski, not 50 Cent.
Right, they say it looked like a dollar bill, right, hanging down from the ceiling there. Funny thing there, but that definitely was a fun moment there. Everybody, especially if you are somebody from LA, loved as they performed a lot of classics there. What did you think of the performance?
I got to take You Might Not Like from it as well, but first off, I enjoyed the show because I thought, especially for our generation, like it's definitely going to hit for us. It's dope.
It's not our generation. I think that's still the generation before us, but we know the kids, so we claim.
I'd say like probably like the 30 somethings is like
right.
But like, I think we're technically, I don't even know if we're millennials or if we're Gen Z.
I don't know.
I think we're like right on that. We're right on that cutoff. But
I don't care.
Like you and I at least are more like old heady. Like you obviously appreciate the new guys as well, but we have a large appreciation for West Coast hip hop.
Right.
Definitely being from LA. So it definitely hit for us. And I thought that did well. Like 50 Cent was a surprise there, and he was looking like a thick boy. It was funny to see him like that. The Eminem Kneel, I thought there was a much ado about nothing made about that. Like that, I didn't even realize that that's what he was doing. I was like, wait, why is he kneeling?
I thought it was some Eminem shit. I thought it was some Eminem weird shit he was doing. And I was like, cool, dude.
What I was gonna say, the Take You Might Not Like is, I thought his rap performance was the best of all of them.
Eminem's?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
It's like I
guess I have another hot take then.
I love Kendrick, but I didn't love his performance. I thought like even I know his songs and love his songs, but I could barely understand like what he was rapping. So I was like, I feel like a larger audience probably was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah.
I thought Dre was cool, Snoop was cool. But I thought Eminem probably was the best of like the rapping performances there. Yeah.
I guess to my even hotter take, there was a lot of immediate reaction, and I say it just now because that's what everybody else is saying.
Shout out Mary J. Blige too. I forgot about her.
Right, of course. There are a lot of folks though that are saying this is up there as 1A, 1B greatest halftime performances ever. I don't think so.
I think it was just enjoyable for us because it's the music we're listening to, but it's probably like in the top 5 or something like that.
Respectfully, I still put Mike above this one.
Yeah.
I still put Prince above that one.
Yeah.
I still put Bruno, Coldplay, and Beyonce in front of that one.
It was cool, yeah.
And maybe they go in the 5 spot, but the other Bruno one was pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie. So I think Bruno had his own solo one. I believe that he did that. I remember to be very good, but maybe I blanked on that. Also, the one that almost got everybody in trouble. This was the Shakira and J-Lo one.
that was actually a good show.
That actually was a pretty good. We just gotta be honest here. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of folks that are jumping, and I understand, and I don't want to get completely killed. Y'all gonna kill me, whatever. It just still, as we had said leading up to it, it just still felt like there were too many folks. And then there was already 5 to begin with. Yeah. You throw in 50 for a moment. I think as great as 50 was, I could have skipped that.
Yeah. I will say too, it kind of sucked that like it had to be censored, obviously. Even though 50 Cent was still talking about sex and stuff, but like
that part is what it is. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking
like
about
that kind of took away from some of the songs though, when they had like saying Buster and stuff.
Right. It felt a little weird, but yeah, they had to cram a whole lot into that 20 or 30 minutes whatever they had, and it still was good, but I didn't get to the end of it and feel as impressed as I was with the other ones that I mentioned before. So
maybe to their credit, I thought it should have been like longer because I actually like wanted more.
Of course.
I wanted more.
If they had more time, that's the perfect that's one of the perfect concerts you can ask for. But as a 30-minute halftime show where you got 6 folks all doing a song or two each, it all just felt very kind of crammed in there. Even though they did have nice transitions into things and whatever, it was a it just felt like there was a little too much going on at the same time.
The NFL was like, "Well, we'll give you your hip hop, but you got to make it snappy." Like,
we'll give you hip hop, but we're gonna give you all your hip hop all at once. Take your one show and be happy.
We'll give you your Negro music, but we only a quick 20.
And then, okay, I don't want to be too nitpicky, but what do you also think of the stage design itself?
I thought it was cool. I thought the stage design was cool.
It was cool in the sense of I liked what it depicted, different spots that were important to them and all of that.
Yeah.
But my mind went to, as a fan, and beforehand you see tickets going for $5, $6, $7, $8, $9+ $1,000 for a ticket.
Yeah.
Imagine buying a ticket, going in there, and you see the halftime show, and you only see half the show because it's facing the other way.
Yeah, no.
So my mind went there as well, where it was like every other show is wide open for everybody to see. And wherever you're sitting at, maybe of course you're up in the second 300, and it's a little bit farther of a view, whatever. But you still see your guys. There's a whole half of the stadium that may not even know that 50 Cent was even doing his thing for his
They're like,
part.
Who's that hanging from the ceiling?
Right. What is going on? So my mind, sadly, as I overanalyze things sometimes, went there as well. So that just had caught my attention, but it was still a great show, top 6. but I definitely still appreciate the moment. So I think that'll be a fun time.
Part of the issue too with like saying it's the best ever is we don't need you to tell us that it's gonna be the best show ever before it even starts. Like that's like LeBron calling himself the GOAT. Like you let other people do that. You don't say that about
relax. Please.
So yeah, that kind of like gives it more hype maybe than it even should, and then it leaves you room to be let down. So like just let people comment afterwards. You don't have to say this could be the best ever.
Right. So, this kind of just spurred the moment, but for going forward, do you have any other names that you would like to see do a halftime show?
I mean, Kanye would be dope. Obviously, I thought like
mess.
Kanye at the Kanye and Drake show, which was really the Kanye show, was one of the best sets we've ever seen in a long time. So if he had some kind of set like that, I guess it would only be like half of that. But
the Super Bowl is where next year? Is it Miami, right? Did I read that right?
I don't know actually.
Oh, okay. I think it's Miami, and if so, Kanye in Miami could be a nice thing there. So that could work.
That's just off the top of my head. As far as like the older generation, because you know the old whites probably.
We're not old whites. Don't just for who you know. Just for who we know. I'll throw it out there real quick, and you've always
too. What?
Yeah, you've always kind of dismissed them because they're not exactly your style. But I'm still gonna say I think Doja Cat would put on a good halftime show.
She probably would just because she has like the pop appeal.
Right.
Like, she has the songs that people know.
Exactly. I think she put on a real good show there. So that's going to came to mind also. I'm sure there's others as well, but that just spurred the moment. Those couple of names you mentioned, Kanye and Doja, I think come on those shows. I'm sure there's other.
I think Drake too. I don't know if he wants to do it because I feel like they would have had him by now. But
right. Yeah. Billie Eilish or other popular white, I don't know.
I don't even know her music. Like,
right. I think
it's popular.
All stuff is sad from what I know. So I don't really know how that works on a Super Bowl stage.
Might not be the vibe,
she's liked enough that she can still pull it off. But we'll see what they do going forward. And we'll see if this gets cemented in that top 5 for folks. So fun debate there. And I guess to that point, while many folks debate where that may rank in regards to Super Bowl halftime performances, stepping back onto the field, there's not really any debate about this postseason being one of, if not the best postseason we've got in the NFL. And
the Asian class, that kind of thing.
Say that again.
Postseason.
Postseason,
I was thinking off season when you said
no, not off season. No, postseason. Yeah, this is one of the best playoffs we've gotten ever. I think start to finish, there were great games across the board. And the question I had for you were, what were your top 5 games of this postseason?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have a top 5. But the obvious, probably number 1 is the Chiefs-Bills game.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I have a top 5. Can I get mine, and then I'll let you react to it?
Yeah.
So my top 5, it has to be that. Still, as great as the Super Bowl is, and all that comes with it, I actually have the Bills Chiefs game ahead of that. The Chiefs finally really win that coin toss and then win at the end. Definitely was amazing. Then actually, I'll put the. See, I wrote this beforehand. I look at it again. And I'm like, wait, do I want to switch this around? I actually put Bengals Chiefs 2.
I was going to say that one's probably up there, but I didn't get to see the second half because I was
right. And that was the hard part about why I may have switched it. But I think even still, from not even being there, but hearing all that went down and seeing how it unfolded, and just the impact of the Bengals beating the Chiefs, and that being so unexpected, that was a great moment. That conference championship game to go to Super Bowl. I have that at 2. I'll then put the Rams Bengals Super Bowl game there. While it wasn't as
exciting
as we may have hoped it was, I think it still was a very enjoyable game that came up to the very end. It had a great ending there. Storylines throughout with Odell and things that were going on. So I have that at 3, and I actually have Niners Cowboys at 4. That game where the Cowboys fell short. That game was a fun game to watch all the way through, and all the drama that came with that. Then I have Rams Bucks at 5, another game that I actually walked away from again because I thought it was over with, and the Bucks and Tom Brady found their way. So that's the 5, and the kind of tie for 5th, or the honorable mentions were the Bengals Titans game and the Niners Rams game, which were very fun as well. So Bills Chiefs, Bengals Chiefs, Rams Bengals, Niners Cowboys, Rams Bucks as my 5 best games.
I'd probably say it was the 4 games from that divisional round where they were all decided by a score. It was probably that weekend.
Okay.
Because that included the Bills Chiefs, I believe, in that as well. So it was probably those 4. And I don't know if I guess because I went to the Rams 49ers game, probably rounds out my 5. The Super Bowl it was really a dud for me. Like, it was competitive, but I was like, maybe part of it, like I talked to you about, like there wasn't really like a villain. Like, it wasn't someone I was rooting against. Like, had a real big rooting interest. It was like, I'm cool with whatever team wins.
Definitely. So
we need
Brady
in there as usual to root against Brady.
Right. Yeah. Not the same anymore. I guess I'll throw this out there. Just another thought pure spur of the moment. Is there a new guy that you're rooting against going forward? Do you have a new Brady or no?
That's a good question. I don't know if there is as far as quarterbacks. I feel like a lot of these guys are more likable. I mean, maybe like Rodgers, just because people don't like his politics, that kind of thing. But like, I feel like a lot of these QBs I like for the most part. Like,
listen, man, if you don't have one, I do.
But I like Lamar Jackson.
Listen, man, you don't have one, but I do. I embraced him one time, and he choked. Patrick Mahomes.
That's your villain now.
I'm cool.
I mean, he was terrorizing the Ravens.
He terrorized the Ravens for a little while. We got him this year, though. I'm early on before they turn things around, sure. But I definitely have fun poking at his success there. So I don't know if he won't reach Brady status, because I do like some of his game. I like Kelsey and some of the guys he has around him. But just as someone to jokingly kind of poke at times, I do like excuse me, what the hell?
You went dark.
I do like Mahomes though. Hold on, let me get this back on
your Braun Zero Dark 30 vibes.
Oh, hold on, man, this is a bad look.
The fans got the drop on you.
Yeah, they coming. I had to turn the lights off real quick. Okay,
man.
there we go. So yeah,
The
I
whole
got
the chatter. He don't like that.
since them goes quick, snap me just like that. But I think Mahomes will be my new villain, or at least somebody of the villain going forward. So definitely fun things ahead there.
Well, I'll say for you, it'll probably be whoever the Steelers get next as their QB will probably be the perfect villain for you.
Well, not really, because if they get Jimmy G, well, I guess Jimmy G might be my villain. So I don't really like Jimmy G like that, as you've seen. So if that's the perfect fit. Will they get Deshaun Watson or somebody like that? I wouldn't mind. Of course, I wouldn't like to go against him. But he wouldn't be a villain all of a sudden because he's there. I think I actually dislike Big Ben just something about Big Ben just himself. I didn't like the Steelers as is, and then Big Ben as a for multiple reasons.
It's easy to not like Big Ben.
Yeah, easy guy not to like. Yeah, so I just kind of he was easy to become a villain there. So he definitely was one. So yeah, that's that. In that regard, other things NFL wise, they had the NFL honors right before the Super Bowl, announced all the awards and things, and there was a lot of debate that went on after the fact about whether they should include the playoffs in their picking for these awards going forward. Do you agree with that, or should they continue just to focus on regular season?
I feel like I see the argument for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should stay regular season because sometimes guys have really amazing years and the team's not so good.
Correct.
So I think you should still leave it at regular season. Maybe I could see the argument for like MVP maybe being a full season award.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard to be like labeled the MVP and like not make the playoffs, that kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, or like be labeled MVP and then like falter in the playoffs, like Rodgers did, or that kind of thing. So maybe MVP I could see being a full season award, but I think the other ones, it's fair to cap them at regular season because guys deserve their credit for 17 weeks now of really good football. So
correct. My position is that they should keep it as regular season and continue to give guys acknowledgement, especially as we noted before how the regular season continues to extend. You're playing 16, 17, 18 games now. Guys should get some kind of acknowledgement for what they did during that stretch of time. So definitely have that as its own thing. But I do think they should also have a separate awards given, maybe not each same award, but maybe the top, the MVP, offensive player, defensive player, and coach of the playoffs. Have those four as I also acknowledge them for what they did in the playoffs as well. Because some guys turn up in the playoffs and have special runs and deserve acknowledgement.
Treating it like a separate like tournament, kind of like how we do like tournament awards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with throwing that idea out there, I want to just give what example of that would be. So like this year, while we had Aaron Rodgers as the MVP of the regular season, Joe Burrow might be the playoff MVP. Yeah. Or you have the offensive player of the year. Was Cooper Kupp, I believe. And he might repeat, and that's fine. Hey, if guys do follow up and have the same success in the playoffs as well, you get 2 trophies. And Cooper Kupp, very well maybe offensive player of the playoffs as well, and get that. I mentioned honorable mention, though he didn't get to the Super Bowl. Deebo Samuel had a great playoff run as well. So a guy like him could put an argument even for the 2 or 3 games that he did for being in that discussion. Yeah, defensive player of the playoffs. While for the year it was T.J. Watt because what he did. Clearly in the playoffs when teams stepped up, Aaron Donald was that guy yet again. So he could be the defensive player of the playoffs. He didn't get the Super Bowl MVP either because that went to Cooper Kupp also. So if he can get another award of acknowledgement for what he did, because I think a guy like that, while you can only give one Super Bowl MVP out, but there's other guys that clearly show they deserve some kind of acknowledgement there. So Aaron Donald being the player of the playoffs is great. Zach Taylor maybe being coach of the playoffs for what he did and getting that Bengals team to the Super Bowl. And then have like a comeback player of the playoffs as well. Maybe a guy that got hurt during the I don't know, but the guys that got hurt still in the playoffs, a guy like Odell, maybe Joe Burrow again, another way to give him an award. There are ways to acknowledge what they did in the postseason, while also giving guys credit for what they did during that long regular season stretch as well. So I think they should have both. I don't know why that is so can't be done. I think it should be, and there are ways to do so. And I think that's the way they do it going forward. So we'll see if they follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing they got a lot of debate in regards to how to potentially change those awards. Another thing that ain't really as important but was up for some debate was the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl happened and nobody cared. And for that exact reason, folks were like, okay, how do we fix this yet again? They had, I think, like before that, they had like the fun tournament style, not tournament. They had little skills challenges, dodgeball, or throwing it through whatever little thing. They had some kind of fun events they had for the guys there, but it didn't garner the hype that other all-star games have in their leagues. So again, looking at how to potentially change that, what do you think? Do you have any solutions for fixing the Pro Bowl going forward?
I was trying to think about like when I last cared about it. And I feel like it was more like I was on the younger side, like probably a little bit before teenage years. And I think like they used to do it in Hawaii every year, correct?
Right.
And I think they changed the date of it. Like it used to be after the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay. So maybe doing that where you can have like some of the players that were in the Super Bowl can participate in it as well too, because the way they have it set up now, those guys aren't going to participate in the Pro Bowl if they're going to be in the Super Bowl, that kind of thing.
I think having Super Bowl as the last game of the season is a good way to end it. I think having another game after that, people didn't. That's why they changed it. Nobody cared.
It is, but but now people really don't care either. So I'm like, I feel like I don't really even care about fixing it because it's not really a game that like I'm interested in. But it's hard because it's football, so there's really a chance of people getting injured. Like that's part of the reason why guys don't go as hard in like the NBA All-Star game. But in football, like you really aren't trying to go 100% because you don't want to blow out your knee in a real meaningless game. So
that being the case, let me throw out my idea for it because I have an idea for the Pro Bowl. Keep the date as it is, and during that gap week before the Super Bowl, that's fine. Getting fans involved, and a thing with the NFL, that's one of the only sports where guys' faces are covered with the helmets on and things. There are times when you have stars in the league. Like, I didn't really know what Deebo Samuel, as great as he was, I didn't really know what he looked like until a couple weeks ago when he started doing interviews and all that, like him being a wide back and all of that. So giving a chance for all your stars as they're picked as the best players of the league for the world to see their faces clearly and things is a good idea. Guys are not going to be trying that hard anyways because it's a Pro Bowl game, whatever. So if you have a 7-on-7 tournament for the guys, flag football, however you want to do it, having a game where guys aren't in fully padded, can go light. I'm gonna still go out there and run around and have a good time, and we see their faces and them doing their thing. I think it'll be fun. With that, you can have kind of like the NBA does. You can make it into 4 teams, 2 AFC teams, 2 NFC teams. The fans pick the 4 captains and they draft teams and they go out there and run around and have a good time. You have your skill positions guys doing that, and you also have skill competitions for the linemen. You have them doing some kind of bench press challenge or wherever they already kind of have things for the skill guys, but letting the big men do that. So we see their faces doing that as well. So you have one side of the skill guys having a fan vote with the 7-on-7 tournament for the Pro Bowl instead of the game. There's not going to be being that physical anyways, or even being more specific with it, doing one-on-ones. Guys love to do that. And seeing that competition, that could be a fun thing in some regard. But a chance for the league to show the world their stars' faces for once, I think is how they should do the Pro Bowl. They already kind of do that, I guess, with the skills games. But again, no one watches it. We want to see them play football. So playing football, but not as physical, have a little 7-on-7 tournament.
That's the thing, because that's part of the reason why we watch football is because of the physical nature of the sport. So it's kind of hard.
I think for one weekend, having your top guys out there and it's not as physical, but they're still running around and still competing in some regards for some trophy or donation to whatever. I think could still be beneficial. Also for the guys, because it also talks about, hey, some of these guys that got voted in haven't been playing football for a month already. They're already on vacation plans and don't want to get out there and re-injure themselves banging bodies with guys. Yeah. So if you go 7-on-7 style, Guys don't have to be as physical. They can run around jokingly still and have a good time. And it's not the same strain potentially, or not that potential harm there that putting the pads back on could be after such a long time. So I think that's the next step there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all good ideas. I just think people won't really care that much if it's not
sure, but that's how you get the fans. You get fans involved with the fan vote. You watch them. You watch the captains draft guys. Oh, Mahomes went and drafted Justin Jefferson instead of Tyreek Hill or I don't know, whatever. But just having ways for there to be interaction, seeing guys' faces, and still getting some kind of football out of it. I think would be a fun thing.
Like you said too, don't they already kind of do that? Like with the current Pro Bowl, it's just they don't do the 7-on-7 thing, but they have like players' faces and stuff, and they have these challenges and all that. But like,
yes, they do. But again, nobody's watching that part. They want to see football in some way. Yeah. So if you're doing the 7-on-7 football, they're playing football, and you get to see them run around a bit, and the fans getting to vote for who the captains are and how teams get put together. Gets them involved as well. So I think it's a decent idea, and we'll see if somebody hears it and takes some action on it. I don't know.
The sport of football just may not be built for an all-star game.
Of course it's not.
Yeah,
Like, so
I guess they still. I don't even know if people view like Pro Bowl selections like that. Like I know it goes on the resume, but I feel like it's not viewed even as highly as like NBA All-Star selections.
Right.
When it comes to like guys' legacies and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like Mitch Trubisky like wins a Pro Bowl and stuff like that. So like, I don't know. But like, yeah, it seems like every year it's been like less and less noteworthy, and it's like not even really marketed by the NFL really that well.
Right.
I feel like it might not be. While those are good ideas, I think those were ideas that may drum up some interest more for like the younger generation, which is something that's important. Like
that's what you want to do.
As out, of course. Right. It just may not be the best vehicle for an all-star game, the sport of football. Yeah,
I get you. Well, I mean, anything can be better than what they have so far. So hopefully they figure out some kind of update to it and adjust accordingly. So yeah, that's it for the NFL. I think you have anything else NFL-wise you wanted to address real quick?
No, you just had way too early prediction on here.
Oh yeah, you want to throw out any team names for next year's Super Bowl way too early, as folks love to do?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, obviously, because it's way too early. I'm still really bullish on the Bengals offense. I don't know if they get back to the Super Bowl. I like the Ravens with Lamar, but you got to see the team they build around. Who was like the biggest shot to make that jump?
Super Bowl next year's in Arizona, by the way.
So you think they set up the script for the Cardinals? Is that what you're saying?
No. I was just just no. I do not. Not with their drama right now. No, I do not.
Remember when you were worried about the Rams versus the Cardinals in the first week of the playoffs, dude?
I tried to give Kyler his respect because I see what he is. Clearly, the team and others don't give him that same respect. It went as it did. So yeah, whatever.
Kyler got to show us something next year at the end of the season because he has those Russell Wilson like seasons. Starts off hot MVP level. Then
I do want to say for now, that discussion between him and Lamar needs to stop. Let's stop that now. I've had enough. I respect. I see what the talent he has, but yeah, he's yet to put together close to, in my opinion, what Lamar has done in his time.
Yeah, this is tough because I think a lot of the teams that are in the playoffs may have different quarterbacks, may have different personnel. I don't know. The safe pick for me is still the Chiefs getting back from the AFC. NFC wise, though, I don't know if the Rams are back if they don't have Aaron Donald or McVay, maybe.
Right. Yeah, real quick. They talk about retiring, and Aaron Donald, like he's had a pretty decent, solid career. I think he's like 9-10 years in at this point. So guys retire earlier than before these days, and it's very possible that he said enough's enough. But for a guy to be 9-10 years in, I mentioned earlier on about how guys' primes are very short. He's still in his prime, it seems like. For a guy to leave in the middle of his prime, it wouldn't make sense. If it seemed like he was falling off, sure. For him to still be top guy in the league, I think he has to continue to let this ride for at least a year or two more going forward, and then you can go from there.
Yeah.
And then with McVay, it makes no sense with McVay. So
it really makes no sense for me with McVay. He's 36 years old, just
36.
Literally. He's not an NBA player. Like, he's not out of his prime now. Like, he's just a lot of coaches don't even get hired until after his age. So
and it's funny because he's 36. The joke is always about guys being old in the league or whatever, or about being up in age. But for football, for him, he's younger than most. So it's like you have a bunch of time left. There's no reason to walk away now. So unless you wanted a break or saw some big scandal coming that he didn't want anybody to know about, but I don't think that's the case. So definitely let this ride. So
I'll say for the way too early prediction, I'll say predicting that the Broncos get Rodgers and potentially Adams joins him. I'll say the Broncos get there. NFC though is really hard for me because the Buccaneers don't have their quarterback anymore. The Packers may not.
Right.
49ers probably not gonna have Jimmy G anymore.
You don't trust Jordan Love?
Stop it. Cowboys are gonna cowboy every single year until
every year. Otherwise. Don't even say their name.
Rams, like we said, might not have their best player anymore. Who in the NFC you think can come out of there?
Oh, my pick's easy. I think Aaron Donald stays and it's Ravens Rams.
Okay, you think he stays?
Yeah.
If he stays, I can see the Rams running it back.
Yeah, Ravens Rams Super Bowl in Arizona next year.
Ravens
Lamar wins in Kyler's house.
You don't believe it. You don't believe that.
I'm saying that as I said that very quickly and easy. There's not even a second thought about it. Healthy Lamar and healthy squad. Ravens Rams in Super Bowl.
Okay. I'll go Broncos Rams then.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So we both got Rams there. And we'll see if they can follow suit and double up on the impressive performance they put up this year. So, fun things ahead. Let us know you guys' picks and all that. Let us know who your playoff MVP and all the things that I mentioned in the episode, who you guys have for those as well. Definitely a lot of things in here to discuss. This is all the NFL side of things as you see. We'll come back shortly to talk about NBA and beyond. Have a second episode for you guys here. So, for now, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on IG and TikTok at section.300. Follow us on Twitter at section300sports. Follow me at JustSayG. Follow Alec at LakersFan24. And again, we appreciate all the love and we'll see you guys again very shortly. Appreciate you guys. Peace.
Deuces.